Merciless is an extreme metal band from Sweden. The band was formed in the summer of 1986 and was known as Obsessed and Black Mass for a few live gigs. By 1987, the band officially changed their name to Merciless. In July, they released their first demo titled Behind the Black Door. Only 100 copies were made. The demo slowly circulated among all the Swedish bands, including Entombed, Grave, Unleashed, and Dismembered, as well as through underground fanzines and magazines. In 1988, the band saw a change in lineup, as former vocalist Callie sought to pursue a professional career in the automotive industry. The band moved quickly to find a suitable replacement. At the time, Merciless shared a rehearsal space with another band and set their sights on the vocalist, Raga Pedersen. From the first roar from him, we just knew this was gonna take the band into a higher level, recalled founding guitarist Eric Wallen. The first song we did with him was Realm of the Dark. From that point, it'd say Merciless went from a schoolboy band into something that actually sounded pretty good. Eric and Colin asked him if he'd be interested in joining. Raga accepted. Now that Raga was successfully recruited into the group, the real Merciless was born. The band finally released their second demo, Realm of the Dark. At this time, Merciless caught the attention of Hell Olin, most known for his participation in Mayhem. Pell was apparently friends with the band before leaving Sweden to join Mayhem and introduced their music to his new associates. Euronymous was impressed with their sound and agreed to produce their debut album. The Awakening was released in 1990 under the infamous Deathlike Silence Productions. Lyrical themes are very straightforward and focus on anti-Christianity, war, and death. After its release, the band performed with several prominent Swedish groups at the time, including Dissection, Dismembered, and Entombed. 1 year later, Merciless set to work on their second album, The Treasures Within. While the album was originally planned to be released by Deathlike Silence, Merciless cut ties after mismanagement. According to interviews, the label had been negligent in answering phone calls and stopped paying the band their share of royalties. It's also noted that it was around this time, summer of 1991, that the Norwegian black metal scene had begun to spiral into chaos. We all noticed that there was no point to go on with them, Eric stated. This was only the start of the band's struggle in releasing their second album. We were supposed to sign to CBR Records. We already knew them because of a compilation album. I really can't say how it really happened, but suddenly we were under contract with Active Records. In the end, it was not a good thing for us because we just had problems with that label. We couldn't contact the guys behind. It was not a good deal. Although The Treasures Within was eventually released in 1992, the band wasn't satisfied with the studio's sound, and even referred to their whole experience as nothing but a disaster. The experience was so negative that founding member Stefan "Stipend" Karlsson left the band as drummer. Due to a delay in release, several frustrating instances, and a disappointing product, it is speculated that Stipend simply did not have the inspiration anymore to move on with the band. He would rejoin again years later and played with Entombed for some time. The band set out to find a replacement drummer and would soon recruit Unanimated's Peter Sternvent as replacement. The two bands, Merciless and Entombed, would tour together throughout 1993. Merciless would not return with their third album until 1994. This album, Bound, would be mixed by Dan Swano of Nightingale and released by Thomas Nyqvist of No Fashion Records, a small Swedish record label that was focused on extreme metal. The band only performed one show after its release, before disappearing into obscurity for a while. They would have some interesting offers during their hiatus, including one from Century Media Records, but the band ultimately turned them down. They would not resurface again until 2004 with the release of their fourth album simply titled Merciless. Despite not releasing any new music, Merciless is still very active and even came to the United States in 2017. Merciless is one of the few pioneering bands of Sweden, but is often overlooked. Despite this, they have managed to gather and maintain a cult following since their early days. Merciless is a renowned Swedish death thrash band that played a vital role in shaping the extreme metal scene. With their aggressive sound, intense live performances, and raw energy, Merciless remains a significant influence on countless bands in